No intros. No nothing. We're jumping straight to it.
Straight to it.
Except for the video intro that I'm going to play in a minute to get you all hyped up because I'm supposed to do that. It's in my contract. But hopefully you can hear me okay. I think my audio is all wonked off. But it's all good. We're going to have one of those wonky days because I'm currently on vacation and not here to do a new episode. So we're going to give you a little bit of news from that happened like 3 or 4 days ago. By the time this comes out, the world's probably over. But let's do it anyway. Let's talk about it. You know what you're here for. Let's get weird.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he really means that.
Half the stuff is what I call nastiness.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves were possessing weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth! I remember that with Matthew Moses. We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
It's a big club, and you are not in it, but you might be in this club. You might be in this cult that we've got here. The system is down. If you're new here, welcome to the show. You're probably not, because most likely, wherever you found this, it wasn't because of the YouTube algorithm, especially because of the guest that we have today and the conversation that we're going to have. That guy who's dying in the background. We'll get to him in just a moment, but he is back, and you know who it is. I won't do all the typical plugs and stuff. Get shirts at the shirt store, thesystemsdown.com/TV or something. Or no, thesystemsdown.tv is my website. Thesystemsdown.tv/store. You can get some sweet shirts there. You can go to Free Ounce of Kratom and get a Free Ounce of Kratom. Use the promo code TSID for 5% off all their products, including Delta 8 THC, vapes, and gummies, and all that stuff. Go get it at freeounceofkratom.com and jackcaseybooks.com. Get Jack Casey's books, all of them at jackcaseybooks.com. And, of course, you guys in the Downers Club, people like Gremlin666, David Algood, Lisa Debus, Cole, other people, Lauren Carter, Shannon. Shannon knows who she is. Carolina B, or as we refer to her here, Polish Karen. Tim Brown, Aaron Stute, Nathan Sipes, Lucas Riley, Mary Rome, Liberty Hippie, a bunch of others. If you want to get your name on that list, if you want to get the bonus content and all the stuff, including we're now doing the Boba Fett recaps with Mark Clare from Second Print Comics and Lions of Liberty. Get that and all the after parties and everything else over at patreon.com/The System is Down, because YouTube doesn't let me monetize anything because they hate when we come on here and we talk about things like Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. Patreon.com/The System is Down. If you like it and you want to hear more, go hear it. It's up to you. Now, my guest today is a friend of the show, formerly, I guess, and currently part of the show in one way or another, I'm sure, at least in spirit. His name, of course, is Scott.
Yeah.
Scott, I don't know if you want to have your last name shared anymore. I don't know where you stand on that type of shit.
Care. I mean, I don't know. What does it matter? Does anything matter?
No, absolutely nothing matters.
No.
We're going to talk about a thing that should be a happy celebratory time. And I know deep down we're both like, yeah, bullshit. Like,
yep.
Like this shit comes out so for those who don't know, we're talking about Ghislaine primarily here. This isn't going to be a normal news episode. This is just going to be kind of something to fill in the time, give you guys something to listen to while I'm out on vacation. And, hey, I'm going to be up in your neck of the woods next week, Scott. I'm going to be up in Wisconsin. Yeah.
Are you really?
We're going to the Dells, taking the fam. Yeah.
To the Dells.
Yeah, we go during the winter, and we hit up certain resorts that have indoor water parks.
You want visitors? You want a visitor?
I might want a visitor. We'll talk after.
I'll crash it.
Yeah.
crash into it with a vehicle if you want me to.
I would prefer that. That seems to be the Wisconsin way. Just
I
drive
was
your
going to
car.
say the Wisconsin way. I mean, we talked about that for about 30 seconds before we never heard about it again. But yeah,
Yes.
no, in Wisconsin, we like to mow people down during the holidays with our vehicles
Yes. Or cross state lines to shoot a bunch
Or-
of black folks
on purpose. 'cause
on
they're
purpose.
Black. Anyway,
We
yeah,
we have a lot to catch up on, Scott. So it would be great to hang out, and we'll probably have to record it because we have a lot that we need to catch up on. But I know your time is limited today, so we have to get to the actual topic, which
I
is
hear-
this celebration of Ghislaine Maxwell going down.
hold on. Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, I'm glad you're here in ADHD as ever.
No, I thought my cat wanted to. Everything's wrong. Don't worry about it. I'm a mess.
If you guys aren't familiar with Scott, he used to have a
Yeah.
show on this show, and it was
Yeah,
about
I'm an idiot. You shouldn't
about
listen
stuff.
to anything ever for any reason.
If you're wondering why he no longer has a show, just watch the live or the video version of this episode, and I think you'll find out. Scott, how have you been, man? It's been a while.
I've been, living life in 2021. You know what I mean?
Staying
Avoiding
alive.
COVID as much as possible. But it seems like that's a whole nother thing. Because who knows what is COVID and what isn't COVID? Because there's no testing method that's reliable enough to say for sure. But 2 years of a pandemic, nobody that I knew personally had gotten it. Now all of a sudden, it's like going around. Everybody's getting it, or at least testing positive for it. I'm not testing positive for it, and I can tell you why, Dan. Do you want to know
Same
why?
reason as me, probably.
Well, I don't know. Do you eat a lot of beef organs?
No, I just don't test. If you don't test,
Right.
you can't test positive.
Oh yeah, that's true. I haven't. That's true. That's true. No, it's the beef organs. Is what I'm convinced of. So basically, how have I been? I've been eating a lot of beef organs for my
Just horse paste and beef kidneys, right?
horse paste and beef kidneys.
Nice.
Absolutely powder. It's like pills because I don't want to actually eat.
Yeah.
Offal, or however you say it. Is it awful? How do you say that word? OFFAL. I don't know.
Either way, I'm sure it's awful. But
Doing well, working, living life through the madness,
Yeah.
Trying to keep my head down, and I've been pretty blessed to dodge most of the bullets so far. I work in transportation, so I'm not worried about ever being mandated to or attempted to be mandated, because it doesn't seem like those are really working out.
right.
So
And by working in transportation, you mean you tell other people where to go, not you're actually moving yourself.
no, I'm not moving anything. I work remote at my home, and I call truckers all day, and I say, "Are you on site for pickup, or
Yeah.
what is ETA, or are you loaded, or blah da 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 da."
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, but it's stable work. It's honest work.
Yeah.
And I mean, a very COVID Christmas this year. Had a very COVID Christmas. Like 90% of my Christmas didn't happen because people got sick
Really?
with COVID. Yeah, you test.
Mine
for
almost didn't happen. I don't know. I didn't test though, so I'm fine.
Oh, smart.
I mean, that's how you don't get COVID. That's how the Amish do it. That's how I live my life. The less you know, the better. If you get sick, you stay home and you do the things. You take the medicines or you do the normal stuff, and then suddenly it goes away.
Goes away eventually.
You go back to life.
Or most illness for all of human history.
Yep.
So that's what's going on for me. Excited for 2022.
Yeah.
As excited as can be,
Yeah,
Who
and
knows?
for the people listening in the future, we're recording this on New Year's Eve. So, Scott, do you got any plans? And do you got any, more importantly, do you have any predictions for what kind of psyop or whatever they're going to drop this evening? Aliens coming back, Independence Day, full on?
This evening or this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Either or.
I don't
yeah.
think anything's going to happen this evening. This year, I could be wrong. I think COVID is going to go away. I think it's on its way out. I think it's probably going to go away.
I'm calling it too. I've been saying COVID is gone for the last week or so. It's gone.
I think that's gone. It's been fun to see how the normies have reacted to the CDC basically just not giving a shit anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, now they're pissed at the CDC and they don't trust them anymore.
Right. The CDC is a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists now who believe all this nonsense.
Right. How could you believe what they're saying right now? We're in a very serious pandemic. Of
Right.
course, that's what they told us for for 2 years, but now they're the villain because they're letting us off the hook. We don't want to be let off the hook.
Right.
And that's the thing, is it's gone on for long enough that I do think it'll go away, and I don't think that the normies are going to like it very much.
Right.
What am I going to be afraid of? What am I going to be afraid of now? Well, I can tell you what I think might be the next thing on the docket for what we need people to be afraid of.
It's climate
And
change. Climate change and Trump. What?
Well, climate change isn't really working. It doesn't seem like it's worked for the last 15 years. You know, they can't get the mobilization they're looking for. I think what it seems that they're telegraphing is a cyber pandemic. Same sort of thing as they were running, like viral outbreak exercises in 2018, like years before COVID hit. It's the same thing with cyber pandemics. They've been running, like tests.
Are you talking like Y2K22?
Right.
Nice.
What they told us was going to happen 22 years ago. Maybe they're going to try to simulate now. But also, I don't know anything really for sure, except that I don't trust any of these people. Any of them. And I think that's what my hope is for 2022. Whatever craziness they lob at us, my hope is that the majority of us get to the point where we're like, oh, I don't have a team.
Right.
There is no team for me.
Yep.
None of these people care about me. None of these people will do right by me. So I don't want them to have authority over me anymore. That's what I'm hoping for.
Absolutely.
We'll see if it happens. But it feels to me like the very worst things that keep being threatened don't end up panning out. Joe Manchin killed the infrastructure bill. And that kind of thing keeps happening where it's like
Donald Trump's selling vaccines to kids.
Yeah, baby. He is. He's a vaccine salesman. I don't trust that guy either.
Yep.
Which is funny because I did a whole podcast for like a year and a half where I was like, yeah, this guy's a good guy. And I'm still not saying he's not. The only way that he could be a good guy is if he understands the necessity of everyone losing faith in everyone.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I still think that his history of unconventional strategy, I think it's still possible that he's doing that on purpose. He can't be that dim. His base hates it. They hate it. They hate the vaccine shit.
You saw the pause before he answered about the booster,
There
right?
we are. I'm gone again. Don't worry
Scott's getting assassinated like every 5 minutes, just so you know. You saw the pause though in the Bill O'Reilly interview where he's like, "Did you get the booster?" And he's like, yes." Like you can tell that he's like, whether he did or not, and it doesn't matter to me whether he did or not. I don't necessarily believe he did, but even if he did, he's like, "What's the right move here?" And then he's like, "Yeah, well, let's go. Yes." I don't trust the guy as far as I can throw him, which I can't throw him at all.
No, and that's the point, and I really do think that's the point. If there's an overarching point to all of the, maybe good people are trying to make good things happen too.
Yeah,
I think the point really is you don't need a government. You don't need one that you think you do. None of them are going to help you. None of them are going to save you. Even the ones that you were convinced had your back, they don't have your back. They're all fucking awful and evil. And they're not worthy of your trust or outsourcing your sovereignty. So, and hey, he's doing a really good job of that, especially to the boomer tier. His incessant, nonstop vaccine shilling is really doing a number on the faith in government on the conservative side, because that's always the problem.
The cops are really helping with that too.
Yeah, they are.
They're doing a great job blackpilling everybody on the right.
Yeah, and that's a big problem with conservatives is they have too much hope in the government too, myself included. If we just get the right people in there, and we could wrong. There are no right people. They say the right things and then they don't do them when they get in office, and it's just
it's all regime change propaganda. It's like if you can take over, you would run this better. It's like, yeah, but you'll still be surrounded by everybody else and you won't be able to trust anybody. And either way, it's power. It's all just power. Like no matter who gets in there, they're not going to roll back the state to the extent that it needs to be for you to have a free life.
Never. They never will. And then, of course, the Ghislaine Maxwell stuff, because that's what we're here to talk about.
Good transition.
Yeah, thank you.
Speaking of, for the people that don't know Scott, when I talk about all the times that I've gotten kicked off of YouTube, a lot of them were because I had Scott on the show talking about people like Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm not even like, I don't really care about whether or not I get kicked off of YouTube at this point. Sometimes I'll like code the words, but I don't know. It's like, if I can't talk about what is the biggest case in human history, a crime court case, after it's been closed, after she's been like prosecuted or convicted. Scott has information on the whereabouts of Jeffrey Epstein, and that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. And that is why his phone keeps falling over.
Who knows where that guy is? You know what I mean? That's my whole thing on it. First of all, it's not a win, like you alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
We're both probably just feeling like, well, that was kind of a wash. You know what I mean? What a freaking patsy. You know, she gets convicted on all but one charge, and that's it. And you'll never hear about it again from the people in power.
Let's not mention like, you know, the giant list of people of not even like, there's the obvious ones, like there's Trump and there's Biden. I think was Biden implicated, or was he not?
I don't think Biden was. I still don't think Trump was either. But
okay, well, either way, Trump, you know, has been seen in pictures. That doesn't necessarily prove anything.
Yeah,
we do have like you know, Bill Gates and Bill Clinton, people that were in much closer association.
Like, hanging out, you know what I mean, globe hopping, doing all sorts, probably wholesome.
But even you set all those aside, and you've got like the longer list has like Disney and like ESPN and freaking Jay-Z and all these people. Like Kanye West even is implicated in it.
Every fixture of society.
Yeah.
Big finance, big technology, big education, big pharma, big Hollywood. There's very powerful people in all of those industries who have pretty direct ties to this Jeff Epstein guy, who's not only powerful, rich pedophile with an island where he raped a lot of people. You know, Peter Nygard, the Canadian Epstein. I mean, it's, you know, and then of course there's all of the Israeli intelligence connections, which is of course a big reason probably why they just convicted Ghislaine, and then we're all done with that because
convicted her. Like, people are saying, like, we can't believe that this came back so fast, that this wrapped up so fast, and it's on like the 1 week out of the entire year that nobody's paying attention, of course. And not in that, after them not letting any of the information come out because it's too sensitive for the internet to handle. Same as like, you know, the killing of Osama bin Laden. The internet just can't handle something that gruesome.
I mean, you can go on Reddit and watch people be killed or die in horrific ways, but like Osama bin Laden,
you can't watch a terrorist die in a gruesome way. That we just can't handle that. It's too gross.
Too grotesque.
Have you seen the Saw movies? I mean, this is something people pay for.
You do not know your audience, do you?
Right.
You have more viewers than you've ever had before if you aired the footage of them dumping his body into the ocean.
Yep.
Wait, what?
No one will worry about that. But anyway, similar situation here. There's tons that we could go into, but some of the biggest ones are like Prince Andrew, his connections with all this and everything, and the royal family's currently scrambling their asses off. Now, she was convicted, but I don't know. What do you think the alternative was? Like, if they're just trying to run this cover-up, what's the alternative to convicting? I mean, they can't really say, just let her walk free. I guess they could, but...
Yeah, I think that you got to have a conviction so that the public doesn't care about it anymore. You know, because there's that, like, the majority of people haven't like dug into all of the various connections that Epstein had to everyone. They just go like, powerful pedophile. That pedophile lady got put in prison. Good for her. Good for her. That's the
I've been saying, even if you take all the celebrities out of this, it's like you had a massive operation run by 2 people. That's it. Like, who was cleaning the toilets? Shouldn't somebody else be getting questioned here?
Yeah.
It's an island.
No, we put her away, and Jeff Epstein is dead, and so of course there's nothing else to it. You know what I mean? Like, there couldn't be other governments that maybe were behind it a little bit, or even our own government. You know, like intelligence agencies and stuff like that. No way. But I think
meanwhile, CNN's getting busted for pedophile stuff, and the CIA's getting busted for pedophile stuff, and you know, there's definitely no ties, I'm sure. But the case files for this are sealed for how long? Like 50 years or something like that?
Yeah, 50 years or something like that. Just like the Pfizer trial information.
Yeah,
Trial
exactly.
information, 70 years or something like that.
Sealed until Ghislaine is dead or out of prison,
Right.
I guess.
It's
I don't
funny.
know.
That's kind of a tangent too. But my brother, because I mentioned my grandpa just went to the hospital today, but he's been sick last week, and my great uncle also got sick, and they're both 99 years old and 100 years old respectively. And so that, we were getting updates on the family Facebook thread, and my brother texted me later that day, just, hey, I love you. How you doing? And I said, doing all right. I'm part of me is weirdly convinced that they're both going to pull through just because of the genetic aspect of it. Like they've lived this long despite all odds and almost in defiance of God's will. So I feel like it's very likely that they'll both pull through. But I thought he was checking in on me, like, hey, how are you doing with everything with our 100-year-old uncle who might die from COVID?
Right.
I said, I'm doing all right. How are you? And he said, I'm doing okay. I'm just honestly, I can't process why you and Dad aren't vaccinated.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
I thought you were going to say something good, like
No.
he was actually checking up on you to make sure you were okay after this Ghislaine Maxwell case.
No.
He knows you're a crazy person.
Yeah, he knows I'm a crazy person. But I mean, my brother means well, so I didn't read it in a condemnatory way.
Sure.
I think it's just a genuine, loving, like, I am having a hard time wrapping my mind around why you and Dad are vaccinated, because I want you guys to be the safest you possibly can be, And I said, well, I feel really safe.
Right.
I feel safe. I do, it's been 2+ years of sunlight, regular exercise, beef organs, low inflammation, eating habits, intermittent fasting, whatever. I haven't gotten sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's working for me. I don't plan on changing my methods, I said, I'm sure it doesn't surprise you that I don't want synthetic mRNA in my body. It weirds me out a little bit. But it was the craziest thing. It's like, that's where your mind goes? Is the first place it goes?
Right.
Great Uncle Clint's 100 years old. He's got COVID. Oh, why aren't my dad and my 31-year-old brother?
It's a religion. It's like, this is happening, and I'm checking to make sure you're okay with the fact that a loved one is going through some shit, but have you thought about your own soul? Like,
correct. No, he literally compared it to that.
Yeah.
He literally compared it to that. He was joking. It was tongue in cheek, but he was like, I feel like an evangelical about the vaccine.
Because you are. Son of a bitch.
It killed me again. And because that's right. That's what he is.
We're not going to buy Scott a camera or a microphone. We're just going to get him a little pop stopper to hold up, hold his phone at least, or a nice book.
He's a DIY guy, but it's a, that's just crazy to me that's what it's come to.
Yeah.
What are people like that going to do when their religion goes away?
Right.
It's on its way out.
Yeah.
Imagine if Christianity, like, the church was just like, yeah, never mind on all that.
Or like if you realize QAnon was a psyop the whole time. I mean, how do you deal with that type of thing?
How do you deal with that?
Anyway,
how do you
with the case, I heard that they just announced that the guards that were responsible for Jeffrey Epstein, that their case was dropped as well.
Yeah, same day.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those guys, we'll let them go.
Not that it was dropped recently, or not that it was dropped today, but that the information came out that they had already dropped it today.
Right.
So also during a holiday, they're just like, let's sneak this in there, like in the footnotes of the bill. Let's just say, just by the way, the guys who were their entire job that your tax dollars pay for of making sure this guy goes to trial and everybody's exposed. Yeah, they just didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
Just cause. And because of that, they turned off the cameras on their way to take a nap or something. Right. I don't know. But so much shady shit, and I know everybody knows most of it, but we can go, well, actually, I don't know. Like, this can go wherever, because I had a friend just the other day when the Ghislaine stuff came out that she was convicted. He was like, so I know this is going to sound stupid, but which side are you on the Ghislaine thing? Is she a good guy or a bad guy? Like, there's a lot of people, and this isn't like just a straight normie person. He like listens to the show, but there's a lot for normal people to wrap their brains around in this thing and who this person is and all that. So Yeah.
Well, not anymore because it's all done. You know what I mean? We did it. Justice has been served. We put her in jail. Everything is good. Don't ask any more questions. Please do not think about this anymore.
Yep.
Is it still going on? No. She's gone. We put her in jail.
Right.
So,
It's like the government being like, yeah, we did MK Ultra and we did experiments on people for a bunch of years, and we have used vaccines. We've tested vaccines on people that's gone very poorly and things like that. But don't worry, we're the government. You should trust us because when we realize we've done wrong, we stop every time.
the thing.
And when we tell you we stop, that's how you know we stop.
There I go. It's going to happen probably every 5 minutes. It's the vibration from the audio. It moves it ever so slightly.
I should stop shouting. I apologize.
Yeah, stop shouting at Dan. Please. Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
yeah. What I don't know. What else do you got on this this fine filly, Ghislaine? And aside from all the things that we know,
if you want to go oddball direction, a little bit of QAnon flavor,
go for it.
You can get weird about it. Like it was weird that we never saw a picture of her ever after her arrest during her trial. It's all drawings.
No, we got the drawings, the sketches from the rap battle sketch artist who made it out like she was this quirky, funny, silly, child rapist.
Like Zoe Deschanel type,
Yes.
Yeah, like a new girl. And she's a new girl.
the viral picture that they tried using to make that what they were clearly going for was that, but the picture, it looks like she's scowling, like she's got the mask on. It looks pretty menacing. I'm like, if I had this woman like sketching back at me, making that face, I would not be laughing about it and acting like she's my bud.
Mm-mm. Yeah, so that's weird that we never got pictures of her. We got footage of the Rittenhouse trial.
Right.
We got pictures of Kyle Rittenhouse after his arrest. Endless photographs of him.
Yep.
So where were the photographs of Ghislaine? You had the weird, I may have even talked about it on the QAnon Chronicles back in the day, but the weird photographs when she was still missing and they hadn't found her yet. And she surfaced at an In-N-Out in California. Just like some casual, like had somebody take some photos of her. She was reading some weird books that, in the same way that people used to analyze Lost, you know what I mean? Or they're like, what does that book title mean? What's that book about? Is it something?
Yeah.
So that was kind of strange. And then, I still don't think that Joe Biden is Joe Biden.
Okay.
But I don't think that means he's a clone necessarily, but that whatever that thing is, it's not the same dude that was the vice president for a bunch of years. It could be masks is what I'm getting at. The technology for masks has gotten really good.
Yeah, but if they're going to mask up a guy who's not Biden, why wouldn't they get somebody who is sane?
I don't know. I have no idea.
If
you want to go like overarching, good is in control. At the end of the day, if you're Christian, we believe that God is sovereign. So if you want to take that tack, that could be just another, you need to lose faith in your government type thing. You need to lose faith in these people and these structures that are going to help you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, I don't know. But you can't trust any of it. Biden, whether or not he really has dementia and really is Biden or is faking, he's a fake person in a mask and the real Biden's dead or gone or
he's a reptile who just evolved wrong.
But the fact that they haven't replaced him yet is crazy. I mean, the dude is, he told himself to go fuck himself on TV.
Yes, that was my favorite part of the entire Christmas.
I know. That was the best Christmas. That thing right there. It's like people out there believe God isn't real.
Right.
I say, look no further than that clip. You think God's real? You think there's no cosmic comedy? Watch that clip. That's it. So Biden still being in the driver's seat for so long, and the fact that they put him on television still, it's not doing anybody favors.
It's brave.
If there's two teams of people, and one of those teams are people that have faith in some political party or some political power in our government, and the other team is people who have no faith in any of it, nothing that's happened over the last 2, 3, 4 years has taken people from the camp of, I don't got faith in my government, to the camp of, now I trust them. We're only
Right.
siphoning people as time goes on from the camp that you don't want to be in.
Maybe. In a way. I mean, there's people who I don't think they trust the government more, but they trust the government equally, and the government is asking for more, and they are blindly going along with it, so they're more
Right.
dangerous than they've ever been. But I think
Yeah.
you're right that nobody's like going from I don't trust the government to now I do
Right.
after all this shit.
Right. So, man, who knows? But yeah, definitely the Maxwell stuff. I hope people, it's not like the people are going to stop digging. It's the same people that dug up all the information about the connections before they were entered into a court record
Right.
are going to keep digging on it after it exits the court record.
Yeah.
But yeah, in my opinion, that's just another obvious middle finger. And it feels to me like everything our government has done over the last 2 years has just been an obvious middle finger to everybody.
Yeah. Is it an obvious middle finger, or is it we're losing control here? We're going off the rails, and we're just desperately flailing? Because like it's every freaking day on Twitter. It's like something that's like fact checkers say that the crazy conspiracy theory that says Bill Gates said this is not true. Like that's always the top trending thing. And it's like if there wasn't. If this stuff wasn't true, why are you spending every day, all of your time with people whose job is to make sure that people don't look into things like Jeffrey Epstein or Bill Gates or, COVID numbers?
Right. It's not working. So I think it's both. It's a big middle finger because it's crunch time for them.
Yeah.
As we can't really control this. Also kind of a tangent, but crypto relates to that. I think crypto is a good thing. I think that it's going to be very difficult for centralized bodies to wrestle it back from the people because of the way it's designed, what it is, the technology. You would have
just
to
pull the plug on everything, and it's all gone.
Right. And that's all gone. But that's, I think that's like, if we think that there's no way out and we're never going to win, you know what I mean? I feel like that would be the last ditch. Like, okay, well, let's just take it all down because they don't want to have nothing to rule over, you know? And that would be a big problem for them too if they did that. So
now you said your prediction is like cyber warfare or whatever. Do you think that involves crypto or pulling the plug or anything like that?
Probably to some degree, but again, I don't know. I don't know if that'll actually pan out, To me, it almost feels like COVID was about the worst thing they could throw at us, and it didn't work. And they know it didn't work. And everything else they've thrown at us, too, also isn't working. It doesn't actually get passed or it doesn't actually get enforced, So to me, it feels like we have two competing things happening. The one thing from the good side is that people need to lose faith in their government. People need to take back control over their own lives. And then the thing that's happening from the other side is people need to be afraid. People need to be afraid. And that goes for both conservatives and Democrats.
Absolutely.
Everybody that's been a part of a team, everyone needs to be afraid. So, I've got, my mom is in the boomer generation. I have plenty of older conservative relatives and they're, have you heard about the awful thing that they're going to do? And it's like, yeah, I heard about it. Right. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that
referring to what?
Oh,
the awful thing.
Infrastructure bill would be a great example. The voting bill, the George Floyd voting bill back in the day, like a year ago, which also didn't come to fruition and didn't pass. Things that would have been tremendously and kind of irrevocably damaging to the country. Those things don't happen. All the things that do happen, they get nipped or taken back, or so I think that the conservatives are supposed to be scared too. They want everybody to just be scared, and I'm not going to do that. I'm done doing that. I don't think there's anything to be scared of, really, because I do think that they're worried. I think that you're right. It's more of a, oh crap, things aren't working, than it is a, screw you guys, we want you to know we hate you. But the message that comes across is, screw you guys, we hate you.
And in their and in their flailing, it is it is a good sign, but it's also dangerous because it's like a dying, retarded animal. It's like grabbing for power, grabbing for whatever it can. And but at this point, like after Biden just said there is no federal solution for this, why are we listening to any of these people on anything if they're waving the white flag?
Right. They're like, it's over. It's done. It's not going to work anymore. We can't fix it. You promised you'd fix it. You promised all sorts of things. That's the other thing. College debt, canceled. Ha 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 ha. You all voted for it. None of the things you voted for happened either, including COVID going away the way you wanted it to, with a TV man saying, there is no more COVID.
Right.
It
You're
is gone.
all vaccinated, and whoever survived will live forever.
COVID now. That's not going to happen. People are just going to say, well, it's endemic, so I guess you got to wash your hands and exercise. The shit that they should have been saying from the very beginning.
Yep,
that's
shit
what
that we've been saying from the very beginning.
Yeah, just deal with it because it is a part of life now, like any other illness has always been, and and they're not going to like it. But I think that they wouldn't be flailing around if they thought that they were winning.
Right.
And I think that the thing they're most concerned with winning, and what they've been so good at winning for so long, the powerful, the elites, not the liberals necessarily. They're all liberals, but they have been winning the narrative for a long time. And that's the thing that they're most concerned with winning, because if they have control of the narrative, then they control everything else, and there's really not a lot anybody else can do about it.
Yeah.
They've lost the narrative. That's why they're flailing.
Yep.
They wouldn't flail if the narrative was still in their control. Because it's not in their control, that means they're worried. And the thing that they need to be worried about is people going, no, it's not a violent, you don't need to take up your arms and go storm a state capitol like all of those evil conservatives did on January 6th,
Right.
You just have to say no. And there's literally nothing they can do once you start saying no. And the more that happens every week, every day, something happens where it's like, seriously?
Well, yeah, and like we've got, I think it was Delta, one of the airline places that was like, they wrote a letter to the CDC and said, hey, these mandates, these restrictions, it's getting really hard for us. Can you dial this back a bit? And they're like, they cut it from like 10 days of quarantine if you test positive or whatever. They cut it from 10 down to 5. It's like, is that how science works? Or can we all just say, hey, fuck you? Like, not that Delta was saying fuck you, but like they just asked and they got it. Like, and this goes towards not just COVID. Like, if people start to wake up and realize, hey, if we take our masks off, if enough of us take our masks off, then they can't stop it. Like that mentality, once people start to wake up to that, that can lead to things like, oh, we actually don't have to pay taxes on things that are complete bullshit, or anything for that matter. And one thing after another, the dominoes start falling, and hopefully, something goes a little bit better.
Well, and I think that for the first time in human history, too, over the last 10, 20 years, we are, especially over the last 10 years, we're technologically capable of not having a government.
Yeah.
When the founders made our government, they hated governments. They didn't want a government, but they recognized you can't really cohere a group of geologically dispersed people together without a government.
Yeah.
You can't be a nation without a centralized authority, because there's no way to instantly disseminate or communicate. But now there is,
Right.
We have this level of technology where I think we have been asleep to the fact that we don't probably need a government anymore. Not that way. I mean, what's the voluntarism? It's like just one step short of atheism. I think that we have the
atheism
technology.
Or anarchism?
I'm sorry. You know what I meant. Whoops.
It's all a religion. It's fine.
It's all a religion. But I think
I am a political atheist as a anarcho-capitalist, so
yeah.
It's fine.
And I feel like people that are early adopters of this stuff, particularly in the crypto space. I mean, if you dig into what the SEC has done with Ripple versus Ethereum and the crazy conflict of interest and like what's the word? Incoherent, not consistent, internally inconsistent arguments from the SEC. It's like, I think even that is happening so that people wake up to what they're trying to do. They're calling Ethereum a security, and it's like, have you tried to do anything with Ethereum for any reason whatsoever? It costs so much money just to use it. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm kind of early in that too, but I see the value in it on a technological level, and what the people in that space are trying to do independent of governing bodies. It's like Ripple doesn't seem concerned at all that they've been in the middle of an SEC lawsuit for the last 2 years. Seems like they're really confident they're going to settle. And so they've just been going along the last 2 years as though they're not worried about it at all. But we're at a point where all that needs to happen is that people just need to realize, oh, we don't need this system anymore. We don't need this body anymore.
Right.
We're actually capable of governing ourselves. And we are for the first time. I think that governments were a necessary evil for most of human history, but they're not anymore. How do we make that happen, though? I don't know. One of the first things that has to happen is the boomers and conservatives and old school GOP and libertarians, and we all need to put aside our differences and unite against the Leviathan. That's the first thing that needs to happen. And then we can go back to squabbling afterwards, because that's good and right. It's good,
and
right.
Once we live in a freer society, we'll be able to squabble, and we'll be able to live in our libertarian anarchy, utopia, whatever. And then the conservative whatevers can have their smaller government or their minarchist society, and that's perfectly fine. It's like we can squabble and not have to, like, I shouldn't be able to determine what you do with your life. Like, why do I get to determine what somebody in California is able to do, and and vice versa? I don't know. Whatever, a bunch of unpatriotic heresy here, but that's what we do. Do you have?
Go ahead, but
I was going to ask, do you have to leave? If at any point you got to go, I can wrap this up.
Just give me 5 minutes.
Okay,
5 more.
You go as long as you can, and bail when you need to, and I'll do what I do.
Yeah, no, I think just from a financial standpoint, we're used to fiat. We're in the fiat world, and we're just used to that. But that's not the way that it has to be. I mean, that alone would be revolutionary. Imagine not needing a currency for a nation. You still have a nation, but it doesn't have to have one currency. Imagine, like, some stores online actually accept Doge someday. Not every store accepts Doge. That doesn't mean you have to have one currency to rule them all. If you could instantly exchange whatever currency you have for whatever currency you're trying to purchase something for at virtually zero cost, virtually instantaneously, and you had one place to centrally manage all of your monies, then you are your bank.
Yeah.
And that's totally achievable right now. That's what Ripple aims to be, actually, is the liquidity coin. It would be the basis. Everything would just convert to XRP and then reconvert to whatever currency you want it to go to. It happens instantly.
Wouldn't the leftists hate themselves if they became their own big bank, though? If they were suddenly the 1%?
They don't hate big banks, Dan. They never talk about banks. They hate wealthy business owners.
That's true.
They don't really.
I get my Colts mixed up. It's all good.
Yeah.
You
would think they'd talk more about the banks. They'll toss like a couple words about the banks.
To tie this back in, it's interesting that I've brought this up a couple times, like with this whole Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein case and everything. It's like the people who rail against capitalism, quote unquote, it's just like people who have never, made money for themselves, typically. And it seems like they're not really railing against capitalism. They're railing against like crony capitalism and corrupt capitalism and, people paying off politicians and stuff. Now, if they really are against that, which they are, and they're right to be so, how about this giant, massive case where every single crony capitalist in the existence of human history is currently implicated in a pedophile ring scandal?
Right.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that.
You know why, Dan? Because we put her in jail. Can you just
let it go
alone?
Right.
Let it go. What more do you want from us?
And any day now we're going to get a Trump P tape,
Prison. We put the bad lady in prison, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, don't understand why you're still caught up on it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Some people molest kids, Like, what are you going to do? Stop watching The Mandalorian? What are you going to do about it?
Don't kink shame. We all have our own hobbies, and, it's becoming more and more acceptable as every single person in media apparently does it. So it is what it is now. What do you think? Is anything going to come out about this? Do you think that this will be swept under the rug? I mean, yes, that is what we've seen throughout history, but we do have shows like this one and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of others that are keeping a close eye and now screaming about this type of thing. Do you think there's any hope that we can put pressure on them to the point that they have to actually be held accountable for some of this shit?
I don't think it's going to come from a government body.
No.
You were never going to get a TV man telling us, "Oh, new details about Ghislaine Maxwell and her pedophile ring." That's probably never going to happen.
Yeah.
But it also could. It also could. I mean, there is that theory, like you mentioned, that somebody asked you. So, what do you think about Ghislaine? Is she a good guy or a bad guy? It's possible that she flipped. You know what I mean? It's possible
Like she
that
got arrested and now she's like, "Hey, I'm going to spill the
Right.
beans if you do anything to me." Is that what you mean?
No, like spilling on her connections. I don't
Right.
think that that's a likely outcome or the likely thing that's happening, but it's a possibility. They could have put somebody else in jail. Who knows? You know what I mean? They could put who knows what these people are capable of doing. Why don't you grab another prisoner that's already in jail and then just put a mask on them and have them stand trial and then get sentenced to jail again? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just came out of my brain right now. I haven't seen anybody saying that or.
Well, I didn't even think about it till you brought it up. The fact that we haven't seen any pictures, like no perp walk, no court, nothing. Like, is there even a mugshot since she's been arrested?
No.
Wow.
No photo jail, no nothing. And that's the one thing that's weird that people have keep pointing out. Like, man, we got the biggest crime trial of the century, and no photographs or video of it. Again, Kyle Rittenhouse got all of the video and photo in the world.
Yeah.
But Ghislaine Maxwell, the Israeli intelligence asset who ran a wide global spanning pedophile ring with a bunch of powerful people. That one, no photos?
Nah. Nobody had their cameras. So
I don't know, man. You don't know what to think exactly.
So if we take that even more conspiratorial, there's a chance that there was no trial and she was never there. And we don't really have any evidence that there was a trial other than, obviously I don't believe that. And there are people that I know that were reporting on it and watching it closely. So I don't believe that. But like you said, we don't know who this person is necessarily. And I don't know, like, that doesn't necessarily prove anything, but isn't it fucking weird that there's no pictures of this person?
Right. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with so many things where I'm like, and I feel like I tried to be careful on the QAnon show to say that often. Like, hey, I don't know anything for real at all. You know what I mean? I'm not sure about anything at all. But that has only gotten stronger, not weaker, in terms of I'm like a negative conspiracy theorist.
Right.
I don't believe any of it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've been for a couple years now. I'm just like,
real. I don't know what's actually going on, but I can tell you whatever they're telling me is going on. I don't believe that. I don't believe. And
honestly, I think that's kind of the place to be. Also, it's not just like black pilled. It's like a level of humility to be like, I do believe some crazy shit, but I also know that I don't know any of this stuff. Like, so let's talk about it. That's the point of the show.
Yeah, like 9/11. I know what they said about 9/11 didn't happen that way. I don't know what happened. The conspiracy theorists that piss me off are the ones that are like, yeah, that didn't happen.
Right.
And that's when claims were computer generated.
Right.
I'm like, what? Well,
high-powered energy weapons and
could
smoke
be
screens and
could be any of those things. What I know is it wasn't what they said it was.
Right.
I don't know what it was, but I know that what they told me that doesn't pass.
Right.
Sniff. You know what I mean? And that's again, that kind of relates back to what I said before. It's not having a team that's the goal. It's realizing that you haven't had one for a long time.
Yes.
That's the goal. None of them care about you. Live your own lives. Live free. We got to live free, man. That's why I do.
Trying.
That's why I smoke meth.
Going the hunter route, huh?
Going the hunter route. You got to, I don't know if you've ever watched The Liver King. I'm totally behind everything that he does. I would add meth. I would just add, crystal meth. Yeah.
Have you tried the Parmesan cheese?
Yeah. Oh, Hunter. Can you imagine being that cracked out?
No.
You smoke. I mean, I've been pretty cracked out.
Sure.
But I've never smoked Parmesan cheese, I mean, at least not accidentally,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you smoke it on purpose, it's actually quite nice. It's actually quite nice. Really nice.
Are you talking about like cooking or like off of a spoon smoking?
I'm talking off of a spoon with a straw.
Huh.
Yeah. chase the dragon or something. This got weird. This is getting weird. I don't do crack. I promise.
Yeah, no
Don't
judgment
do-
here. Libertarians and stuff.
But if you want to do crack, it's your right. I
Yeah.
think that you're wrong to do it, but it's your right.
I would be perfectly fine. I'll go out on a limb here and say I wouldn't lose sleep if Hunter Biden did kill himself, but because I feel he has the right to. But that doesn't mean that I would like him to necessarily.
No,
Doesn't make it a good thing.
right.
Hypothetically,
It's just
that
his
happened.
autonomy over himself that he
Yes.
has.
That is my biggest concern. The
And
man's freedom.
You want to talk about stuff that the news was just like, oh yeah, that's the thing, and then never talked about it again. The Hunter Biden laptop.
Yes.
We were told for a long time that's not real. That's Russian disinformation. They were like, oh yeah, no, it's authentic. Anyway.
Yeah, well, it's the same as I said on
Anyway.
on Twitter recently. I was like, I used to believe in aliens. Then the government told me they're real. It's
I
like
saw that.
when they
Yeah.
start coming out, doing all this stuff, like just dropping things here and they're like, oh, remember aliens? Focus on the aliens. Remember? And I'm just like, give me a fuck. If there are aliens out there, you are the last people that I would trust to give me the information on them.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna work. That's why I said I don't think aliens will happen in 2022. I don't think that people aren't interested enough. We're just like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it's actually fascinating
scary.
what the government has admitted, how people are just like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, because they're like, yeah, they've been flying around our nuke bases for like 60 years.
Yep.
And we just let them do it. They come out of nowhere. We don't know where they came from.
Yep.
And everybody's like, oh.
Oh,
okay.
cool. Can I take my mask off now?
Yeah, right.
Like
Take my mask off.
maybe we should, if this is the case and we've got aliens invading our nuclear facilities, maybe this pandemic, quote unquote, isn't like as scary as you're making it out to be. So I don't know.
I'm very scared of it. I've been petrified, Dan. Petrified. I weep with fear, trembling.
Cry yourself to sleep with a spoonful of Parmesan every night. Scott, do you got any final thoughts before I let you leave to go tend to your family? And hopefully they're doing better than Betty White, because also in the news, Betty White died.
She's dead. Super
She's
dead.
gone.
And good riddance. Never
After Twitter kept posting over and over again, hey, Betty White's almost 100. Betty White's going to be 100. Hey, guys, Betty White's going to be 100. Betty White dies right before 100, 17 days.
Everybody had a lot of kind things to say about Betty White. I never really got the hype, you know what I mean? I think she was kind of a bit of an old bag, you know?
I mean, I don't have anything against her. I don't know that much about her other than I think the thing that people liked was she's an old bird, really, really old, who would still like drop an F-bomb and sound based every now and then. So that's really it.
I miss her. I miss Betty.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I miss her and good riddance. Any other words of wisdom? Yeah, I got words of wisdom. You want the secret to health, wellness, and longevity?
Is it beef livers?
Yeah. Hey, you knew it was coming.
Thank you, Jordan Peterson.
X3 bar, heavy duty resistance band training, intermittent fasting, or the carnivore diet. Both if you really are crazy, but either will do. And supplementing with beef organs on a regular basis. Those are the three. I really honestly believe that. This is my final
How do you
word.
feel about Jordan Peterson doing the same thing and having like severe health conditions recently?
Well, Jordan Peterson is Canadian.
Oh.
It doesn't work the same.
Right. Because God hates Canucks.
Yeah, they do. I don't know. Maybe he's got. I don't know. I don't know anything about Jordan Peterson's health conditions. All I know about is my health, and my health is great. And
that's all that matters to me too.
Yeah, those are my final words. But I stand by that. Those will change your life. You too, Dan. Buy an X3 bar. It'll change your life. I promise. I don't work for that company. All right. I'm gonna go.
Cool, man.
And for those listening, you guys you listened. Boom! Nailed it. All right.
All right. I'll see you, man.
What do I do? Hang up?
I'll kick you. See ya. And have a happy new year and all that fun stuff. I know that he had family stuff to get to. So, yeah, he was only supposed to give me, he said like 20 or 30 minutes. And I was like, well, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough because not like we've got the Ghislaine stuff to cover, but he and I haven't like just shot the shit in so long that we could have easily filled 3 hours. So it's probably for the best that his family members are having troubles that he needs to go attend to. Otherwise, this would have gone off the rails most likely. But we will definitely have him on again soon. And best wishes to him and his family and all that. I don't entirely know the situation. I know that some of them are as old as Betty White, and one is older, and so he's dealing with that right now. So. Prayers out to Scott and the McElroy family for all that, and hopefully their New Year's isn't as shot as Betty White's family's New Year. But we're gonna wrap it up there. It's gonna be a short one this week. Again, I am gone, so sorry if any of this or all of this is outdated or there's some catastrophic news that broke while I was gone. But in my absence, I might take some of my stuff. If something crazy happens, I might record an episode while I'm out and about. We're going to be in the same hotel all week, so there might be some downtime that I might record something, but no guarantees, no promises, whatever. But if you want the after party, I do have one or two things I want to talk about for the after party. Yes, even when I'm on vacation, I will still give you guys your well-deserved bonus episodes over at patreon.com/The System Is Down. That not only includes the after party episodes that I'm going to do, or that I do every week and am going to do again here momentarily. But yes, it also includes things like Rotten Potatoes movie and TV reviews, where we talk about things like movies and TV. We also do a bunch of other things here and there when we feel like it. I mean, the after parties are the most consistent, and now another consistent one that we're getting onto. Me and Mark Claire from Lions of Liberty are doing the Boba Fett recaps. So we're watching. If you're a Star Wars nerd, I think. Trevor Smolt just joined Patreon. I didn't put his name in there. I didn't have time to before this episode, but he just joined. And yes, if you recognize that last name, yeah. What's it going to take to get some of my family members to start kicking in some support? Maybe us talking about some nerd shit. So either way, thanks for your support, Trevor. And to all of you out there, if you want to hear that, you can go listen to the recap of the first episode of Boba Fett. I keep wanting to say Mandalorian because it's basically what it is. I'd say it's got more promise than even the Mandalorian does. I dig it so far, but if you want to hear our breakdowns of that, you can hear the first episode. It's out there live for free for the normies, wherever you're listening to this, or you can watch it on YouTube, or just go to thesystemisdown.tv and check it out there. But the first one's free. The rest of them you can get over at the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System Is Down. All right, that's enough. I hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's. I'm going to go celebrate one of my own and in my own ways, and I'll let you know what I do or what I did, and all that. We'll catch up after all the holidays are blown over. Hopefully we're all alive to talk about it. But until then, and in the meantime, please enjoy the new year. Or, nope, please have enjoyed the new year. I'm wishing you the best for a couple days ago, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we're all still alive. I'll talk to you guys, for me, still in the year 2021. I know you're living in the future, and you know what happened. You know how this shit's going down. I know people in India already know how good or bad the year 2022 is shaping up to be. But from me in the past to you in the future, Merry New Year, and God help us all. And R.I.P. Betty White. We'll see you guys. Take care, and question everything. Stay uncomfortable. Be bad. Have fun. All those things. Peace out.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System Is Down for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.